It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on the 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5, shit, get up and leave. It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy B-Gunz here on the Green Rush Nation podcast. Today we have two very special guests from a great brand out here called Ghost. It's my boy Justin and Mike. How you guys doing today?
That's good. Doing good.
Good. Ride out wasn't too bad?
Nah, it wasn't bad at all.
Good.
There's a little bit of traffic coming out of Orange County, but once you get in the toll road, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. I feel like there's always traffic out that way, but...
I thought it was going to be a lot worse with all these fires going on.
Yeah.
But I was telling the boys when I was pulling in that as soon as you get into the city, like crossing over Long Beach into L.A., like L.A. County even, like you can start smelling in the air.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
that
crazy.
Shit was wild.
Yeah,
bro.
and it's been days now, like fucking before it was like...
It's a trip because like in Orange County, we're so far south and the way the winds have been blowing in, like the ash hasn't even hit us.
Wow.
Like, so my dad's in Long Beach and he was saying that he'll come out and the car will be all covered. And I'm like, damn. And he's like coming at the office just chilling because he's saying he's coughing and shit from in the air. I'm just like,
Damn, yeah, no, it's a shame for sure.
it's fucking sad what's going on there.
It's definitely fucking...
Anyway, sorry to
Yeah,
start off
no
all
worries.
down like that, but
All
just
good,
real
bro.
talk.
It's something that's going on, So
Yeah.
obviously we got to talk about it. We're here in California.
Yeah.
We're all impacted by it. But shit, so you guys have been killing it with the vapes. Is it just a vape company you guys have?
So here in California, yeah, it's just vapes.
Okay.
In the state of New Mexico, we also have a pod system, so again, same vape category. However, in New York, we have flower, pre-rolls, as well as vapes. So
Okay.
full lineup out in New York.
Fire, great. Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out when I am home because I am from New York. So
There you go.
definitely.
System right here.
Yeah, let me check that thing out. What do we got here? Convenient. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful.
Currently, that's exclusive to New Mexico. We just slowly roll it out, just trying to understand how to place batteries and pods in the market simultaneously.
Okay.
We've had a pretty good adoption rate, so
Beautiful.
we're looking to expand, especially with the way that markets are like compacting so hard
Yeah.
in every state. So it's just like we're trying to figure out what's most feasible for the end user, the consumer, and just what makes the most sense. The batteries, throwing those away over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Waste, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So just trying to stay ahead of the curve a little bit.
Beautiful. So the pods are the things you replace. You just keep the battery by the system.
Exactly,
Okay, cool,
exactly.
dope. I like that. So before we get into the business side of things, obviously I'm sure you guys are partaking. How long have you guys been smoking for? And do you remember the first time that you partaked in cannabis?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I smoked weed for the first time like really young. I think I was like getting out of the 5th grade, going into the 6th grade.
Damn, that is really young.
And like, it just doesn't sound good. But the first time I like smoked weed was in like a sewer pipe, yeah, like like the big like circular sewer pipes.
I know exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
remember. Like I remember it clearly. Like we would go there and we'd skateboard, and like it was Stevie. I remember like he like pulled out a little pipe out of his sock, and he like looked at me, and I was like, "All right, fuck it, I'm gonna do this." And,
Yep.
and I hit it. I didn't get high, and
I feel like everyone says that about the first time. You don't get high.
I was stoned.
Yeah, I didn't get high that time.
Okay. Interesting. And so obviously it's come a long way. You weren't getting the same quality shit that you do now, I would imagine.
Well, like, there's actually kind of like a funny story with that too, though.
Okay.
Just because, like, okay.
Let's see how far he goes with this.
No, so like I remember like the first strain of weed that I smoked that I was like, oh fuck, like this works for me. And it was like this Northern Lights, and it was going through Orange County,
Yep.
like fucking 2001.
Okay.
Like back then. And then fast forward now, like
Didn't even get that strain really.
no, it was,
I haven't
it
seen
was
that in
all
a long
Brett's
time.
weed.
Yeah.
It was all Brett's weed.
Shout out, Brett.
Yeah, and so like I like from Wonder Brett.
Okay.
And so like it was his note, and he's like it was just so funny when we figured that out, just because like where like I grew up and then where he was where he was in Long Beach, and like and he was like, it made sense because like we were able to be like, oh yeah, no, that went from me to him. Could
link it back
to him.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, that's little homie.
Find a roach on the floor. You're like, oh shit, that's that Northern Lights.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
dope.
I've gotten a lot of shitty weed though too.
I mean, yeah, I think we all have had our fair share.
Yeah.
We were in New York and they used to call it a drought. So everyone would say, oh, there's no good weed around right now. We're in a drought. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
There's always good weed. You
That's
just gotta
what
know
I'm
where to
saying.
find it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
drought days.
Yeah. Remember those? Fuck.
I think my first time I smoked weed was, I was a late bloomer. I was senior in high school.
Okay.
I was like, played sports, like tried to stay out of trouble. I had 2 younger brothers I took care of. But I remember after football, my senior year, we were getting ready to take SATs. Everybody was partying. It was a Friday night. We were supposed to take SATs on the Saturday morning. And it was like, somehow we got this hotel room. And like everybody was just partying in this hotel room.
Okay.
Somebody pulled out a pipe and they were like, yo, hit this. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I got stoned out of my mind.
Yeah.
Went home, passed out, didn't think nothing of it. Didn't really smoke again for a long time.
Okay.
And then, like, to be honest, when I was smoking back then, I was just like, yo, I'll do anything to get me fucked up. I didn't care what it was. So now, though, like, it's a trip to be able to smoke and actually smoke for effect based on, like, what I need.
Yeah.
Like, what the necessities are, whether trying to go to sleep, trying to focus, trying to, like, chill for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
trying to get hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, am I looking for a heavy, like, in the face kind of high? Am I looking for that euphoric body kind of lift? Like, there's just so many different ways you can go about it now. It's just like, it's a trip.
It's a trip. It is a trip. Because coming back in the day, you know, fucking, I didn't even know what the strains were. It was like, if it was fire, I'll take it, bro. Let me get it. I don't know if it's going to make me stuck to the couch or fucking jumping up and down, but it was definitely evolved a lot. And like you said, I do think it's cool as shit that, like, now we have the luxury of choosing. Like, that's
and
how
like,
I want
I'll
today.
be real. Like, until I got into the industry, like, I didn't know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Most people don't.
Like my mom, like her generation, my dad, like they're just like, yo, you're selling dope again and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, chill, homie.
So was there a stigma when you first started smoking too? Because like back for me, they said, oh, gateway drug, you're going to do heroin. I'm like, what the fuck? Now I smoke weed. I never want to do heroin once.
I did heroin.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, damn.
I did too, but
It wasn't because of weed, though, I'm assuming.
No, definitely
No,
not.
I think, like, honestly, bro, it wasn't because of weed. It was kind of because of exactly what you're talking about, the stigma of fucking weed. Because, I would get MIPs, like, for, like, 10 sacks, 20 sacks, 15, you know, like, like cops would literally, because I was in Orange County, they would literally wait, like, at the end of my street to, like, catch, like, a 14-year-old with, like, a 20 sack.
Jesus.
And then they'd be like, here's this fine, go to this class, like, you're on probation.
Put you on ACOD or some shit,
So, like, right there, you're fucking, you're with criminals.
Now you're in the system.
Now you're fucking picking up trash on the side of the road, and you're just, now you're in that criminal element.
And it's all because of a plant.
Out the gate, but you're set up for failure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
So, is it the weed that puts you there, or is it the system that puts you there?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
It's facts.
Yeah.
For me, I was just, I mean, when I started smoking again, it was probably about 3-4 years ago now.
Okay.
Where I've only been smoking consistently. And when I started smoking again, there was like some people around me were like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But when things around me started excelling in certain ways, it kind of like took people back. You know, it did the opposite of what people were anticipating. So,
Okay. Did they turn a blind eye then? They're like, eh.
Yeah, once they started seeing like I was still doing what I needed to do and actually growing in certain aspects of my life, like they were just kind of, okay, if you're going to do what you're going to do, like at least you're taking care of your shit.
Beautiful.
So especially now, like what we built with cannabis, it's like nobody really says anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How could you?
I mean, you could, everybody. Everybody wants to say something.
This is true.
The federal government's still trying to say shit.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but then they're like, I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah,
You brought it up. No.
No.
No, but I was just saying like the government and shit.
No, but different fucking federal banks. That that are in cannabis, but aren't in cannabis, but they have, But it's like, bro, you're fucking,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know it. But so, is this your first brand that you guys made, or is this not your first go around?
This is my second company, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So second brand. I started in nicotine.
Okay.
And created flavors. My brother built out the sales team and did all this distribution and everything, and I just did the creating of the products.
Okay, dope.
The whole FDA came in, started regulating. We didn't have sales distribution. People didn't like it, so we just kind of sizzled out.
Yeah.
And then we started. It got to a point where bro, I was losing shit. I was living in an apartment with my girl at the time, my girlfriend, and we were trying to have a kid, couldn't have a kid, and so we were looking at IVF.
Okay.
And I was just like, yo, the only way I know how to go get this money is by selling weed.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
That's the only thing I know how to do.
There you go.
And so she was like, look, if you're going to be honest with me, be straight up. I'll support you.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, bet. So I hit my boy up. He was doing some stuff with my brother at the time, and I was like, yo, what are you doing? We started working slowly, making plays here and there. And because of the vape company, I had access to distribution, hardware companies, stuff
Beautiful.
like that, import, export.
Yep.
So I started pulling in hardware, and we started selling hardware to a lot of companies to support them because we could take in the cash, wired it out,
Yep.
and support it that way. And so it was just from that, we started meeting this manufacturer, this supplier, that supplier. So finally we got to a point where we were becoming top salesmen for other brands, and we're just nah, bro. Let's just see what we can do.
Yeah.
And we were sitting we were up at a
Calabasas.
Yeah, just chilling. We were having dinner one night.
No, we were there was some retreat. We were at a monastery, and then we were on a lunch break, and it was the Starbucks in that little shopping center right there. That's Malibu, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Malibu.
Yep.
And we were with one other guy, and we were just talking about it, and we were like, look, this is what we think we can do. And he was like, okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. And how long have you guys been in business now?
That was
2019 is when the brain started. But
okay. Wow.
we started doing our thing together probably 2018.
Dope.
Yeah.
Into 2017.
Okay, cool. And
I thought we were creating other brands, but you know what I mean? We were, just trying
Oh, yeah. We did pharmacy. We did
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
okay.
right.
Yeah.
He's right. It's been a
tell
journey,
us about that.
bro.
Yeah, tell us about the journey, man.
Shit.
No, we did a
We were
brand in
packing-
Oklahoma, because that was the thing. We did we were just rocking with other people. You know what I mean? So we would
Making brands for them.
Well, not making brands for them, making brands with them or selling their product and just developing, back and forth.
Hey, I'll give you equity here, but you're going to sell this. Or, hey, if you can link me over here with these people, we'll give you a little piece of that.
Strategic partnerships.
Over here,
Yeah.
over
Okay.
there.
Cool.
I forgot about that. Oh, shit, bro. There's pharmacy. Remember we were, there's one point when Shatter was being really big.
Bro, Shatter, yeah. Yeah.
And we used to get little pizza.
What was that called?
Cali Dreams.
Yeah.
We used to get little jars and just
Okay.
smash it and make little grams. And
Fire.
You get a pound of Shatter, hit it with a hammer, and
gram
Yep.
it all out.
all of it. Yeah,
That shit was wild.
Hell yeah. That shit ran rampant through New York too, the Shatter. But when it first came, it looked like you didn't know if it was heroin or not. You know what I'm saying? It was so dark and
Bro, and then I was getting 25 a gram on the East Coast. It was beautiful.
Oh,
thing.
I believe it.
It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. When I was in high school, bro, we were literally paying $20 a gram of flour. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crazy. To
Shit
see where
ton.
it's gone now, it's
Especially
like,
out there, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, and I mean, now you're seeing pounds for like $3.25.
yeah, yep,
Just like, which means you're $5 grams, dollar grams.
yeah.
But, like,
Less than $1 gram,
outdoor.
50-cent grams.
That's
like,
crazy.
come on, man.
Oh no, yeah, that's for damn
still-
sure.
Still, it's just
That's
like,
yeah.
bro, it shouldn't be like that, you know? It doesn't make sense. Like, it's like the market is so lopsided right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just so held down by taxes and fees. And it's just like, yo, how the fuck are you supposed to do this?
Yeah, yep.
I don't know.
Shit's tough,
Figuring it
man.
out, though, you know?
Hey, you learn as you go, you know, and I feel like that's the best way because how are you gonna know unless you do it?
Well,
you know?
like, okay, no. So this is like I literally was thinking about this the other today, and so in New Mexico, like we had compliance walkthrough, and we had to shut down the whole business because the exit sign wasn't on.
Wow.
And so,
Yeah,
but
the
then
elect-
I start going through and I'm like, okay, whatever, like shut down everything, get this exit sign, get batteries in it so the lights are on, and then it's like, wait, what business does that happen?
Yeah.
Or like, what?
You're to shut down
That's
for
insane.
4 hours because a fuse went out in the
Exit
exit sign.
That's ridiculous.
So it's faulty wiring, so we had to get an electrician to come out to fix the wiring and then get a new sign, get that installed, and then schedule to have them come back out.
You
to see.
reinspect. That's
Yeah.
insane, bro.
It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like,
And
does
I'm sure-
alcohol have to do that?
Probably not.
The cigarettes have to do that?
Right?
Do hospitals have to do that?
I mean, come on.
This is true.
Do pharmaceutical companies have to do
well,
that?
that's the only
Like,
thing.
what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, actually, you know, if you think about it, like assistant living facilities or like treatment centers, like they all have to go through those gnarly inspections.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, with the exit signs and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yo, tell me what liquor store has to shut down for 4 hours because of their exit sign.
No, they don't. You'll just get dinged for it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yo, fix it.
Yep.
But like, I don't, you know, it's weird though.
And has shit like that like happened in the past, or is this the first time you experienced something like stupid like an exit sign?
Look, at the end of the day, I love, like, this thing is, it's so crazy what we've done, right? Because, bro, 10, 11 years ago, I was sleeping on a fold-out couch.
Yeah.
Like, on God, on my daughter, like, I was sleeping on a fold-out couch.
God bless.
Like, to think that in the last, and honestly, it's only been in the last 2 years that we've launched 3 different states, so California, New Mexico, New York. We own the license in New Mexico, and we have a licensing deal in New York and a reverse licensing deal here in California.
Beautiful.
So it's like 3 different deals, 3 different structures, 3 different states. Like, bro, I don't know how to do that
Yeah,
shit.
this is
This
history.
is all self-taught. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like, there's like, how many people how many companies, like, you'll do more podcasts, obviously, you have more people interviewing, like, ask those guys, like, how much money have you fucking burned on what are the fucking consultants?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I'm a cannabis consultant. I'll get you a license. Oh, I'll get you this. Oh, I'll get you that. It's just like, yeah, and they just take your money and you still don't get shit.
False promises.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, damn. It's like, that's what this has turned into? All right, bet. Let's go figure it out then.
Yeah.
The problem is like, it's a good and bad thing, right, at the end of the day, but we're self-funded. Like, we're not taking any private money. We don't owe the banks any money. It's just like, there's 5 partners and we all just threw money in and we're fucking letting it go.
Yeah.
Letting it ride, you know? So the fact that we're where we're at, it's crazy to think about. But it's
God bless.
it is constantly an uphill battle in this industry. That's for damn sure.
It definitely is. Even when you think you're chilling, something comes up.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking A. So what was like a turning point in the business that you guys realized we can bring this to other states? It doesn't have to be just here.
Well, we started in New Mexico.
Okay.
And like I don't know, man. It kind of is all like unfolded because like kind of like what it's kind of like when you every day you just show up and you like just put in work, and then you like look back and you're like, oh shit, like what did we just do?
Yeah, because at the end of this, like, when you think about it, like, we started this in this like anybody else in this industry starts. if they really did it, right? Like, you're packing, you're vaccinating, you're doing your thing, you're, you know, pushing it here, you're sending it there, you're, you know, grabbing carts, you're fucking, hopefully, I mean, Mario Karts, fucking all these random-ass carts back in the day before Vape Gate hit, like, all that kind of shit. Like, if anybody was doing it at that time, like, you were doing it. Like, you seen Cali Plug on First Smoke of the Day. Like, he was talking about those trap apartments that he set up out in L.A. Like, if you're from Orange County, if you're from L.A., like, he ain't lying. Like, you know those spots.
Absolutely.
You know what was going on there.
It's true.
You know? And, like, if you started in that time period, which we did, like, you knew what was going on.
Well,
and that's
like,
where we started.
That's like funny. That's when disposables fucking started cranking, was in Vapegate, because like everybody got like I remember because I was working with this one company, and I was like, we gotta get a disposable, and then he's like, because like back then it was a lot though. He's like, fuck, I can't, because like I got these 10,000 twist-ons and I can't move them right now. Yeah. And it was like an overnight thing, and then like we switched to disposables, and it just boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
It was game-changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Game-changing. When those dispos first turned on, it was like, okay, bet. It was like a new gold rush, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
And so from there, it was just like,
bring on the dispos.
Yeah. And so it got to a point where we had a decent following doing what we were doing with Ghost, and we were approached by some guys in the nicotine space.
Okay.
And they were like, hey, you know, there's this hemp thing going on right now, D8 and all this stuff. We can push this brand out if you can help us with hardware. And I was like, yeah, why not? Here,
Makes sense.
let's do that. I can get you hardware. No, but like, we didn't know business. We didn't know contracts. We didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I signed a bullshit ass deal, got fucked on some shit, lost about, $2.5 million, wound up signing like another $2.5 million contract on some hardware. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And it's been an uphill battle ever since, but like where we're at now versus then, it was like, I'll tell you, the turning point, we filled 10,000 units of our hemp product to their 40,000. And we sold that 10,000 in the first week.
Wow.
And they had that 40,000 for like 3 months.
I think they still have some.
That's crazy.
So like, that's when I was like, oh shit, we have something.
Yeah.
And then my heart's always been in cannabis, so it was like, okay, I can't market this brand anywhere. I can't do anything with it. Like, I want to be able to get this brand out as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Footprint, brand impression.
Yep.
And so I was like, if we do that in hemp, they're going to smoke shops in every state, in every country right now. Brand impression. And what started happening, states started catching on to hemp. People were still getting high out of smoke shops. So then they started outlawing hemp.
Yeah.
Well, once they started outlawing hemp, what did they start doing? Decriminalize cannabis. And then once they decriminalize cannabis, they get ready for licensure. Once they get ready for licensure, we already have brand assets. We already have brand appeal.
Yep.
The people already know us. The states already know us.
Beautiful.
Boom, we flip right over.
In there.
And so it's like that's been the mindset since inception. And slowly but surely, it's like working its way over. New York was our first like real test. That was our biggest market share. And when we went to New York and we turned on licensed, it was just, we couldn't have, it was the most successful launch we've had to date.
Beautiful. So. New York's a huge market, so like it makes sense.
Gigantic.
It makes sense, yeah.
And it's only growing. They're issuing licenses every day. It's insane. It's insane.
The amount of illegal shops there now is crazy, and they're shutting them down, which I'm glad, because I got some gross shit when I was home there. Like, it was actually disgusting.
Well, bro, like that's like the thing. It's like you walk into like the New York bodegas, and there's like random ghost products that are like this like, yo, this is here's a 6 gram like ghost vape, you know, like what the fuck,
where did you get
that?
What is this?
Is that when it turned for you and we got knocked off the first time? That shit was wild. When we went on DHgate and you could see our shit, and you went on like Alibaba, and you went on like all these like, Chinese websites, and when people started talking about our product down on Boyd Street, Like, and if you're from LA, like, you know, Boyd Street, like,
Well, that's what pisses
we're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then we hear about our product being sold over here, and like people thinking we're making all this money, and we're like, bro, what? Like, people are making more money off our knocked off products than we are off our.
And they're paying pennies on the
Pennies on the dollar.
I literally got an order today for a knockoff for knockoffs. I was like, bro, that's not even me. And then it's like, all right, never mind.
Oh shit!
You know?
Damn.
Like, oh my bad, wrong person.
Yeah, never mind. I'm looking
Come
for
on.
these.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. So obviously, when people start to knock your shit up, you know you have something good. But with all that going on, how was it like that you kept the integrity of the brand so that you can keep your quality over their Chinese branded penny made?
I'll be brutally honest. Like, we've been very successful in some ways, and we had a meeting 2 days ago where we totally missed the mark in one side of the business, completely missed the mark.
Yeah,
you know, like we're so focused on product integrity and building out this one aspect of the business, and we completely stepped over this side, and it was like product was shit, fill was bad. I mean, we're talking black oil, we're talking spit back in the product, we're talking busted ass fill, shitty hardware. It was like anything that you could ask that went wrong.
Yeah.
And it went to like our best customer, like our biggest distro.
Damn.
And it was just like, we're sitting there like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
the
like
fuck happened?
how did this even happen?
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Shiny object syndrome.
You're like, this doesn't.
Yo, shiny object
doesn't
syndrome.
make sense. Like, how did
That's just real.
how did we let this happen?
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what the fuck? Like, there's no reason like shit like that should be happening.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But
And I'm sure you guys learned from that.
Yeah.
it wasn't on, like, you know what I mean? You can't, there's nothing you can do, like, if you get stuck, like, you know, with faulty hardware. Like, who is that?
Yeah, it's like a car recall, you know, like what the fuck? Yeah. It's already out. What are you going to do?
It's coming from overseas. So, like, by the time it gets here, you know, that's 6 weeks. So, like, we already fill it. It's in the packaging, you know what I mean? We send it out, like, yo, it's been, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's we're learning. It's hard, right? Too, because every state has different standards, different regulations. Every manufacturer, this is acceptable to them. It isn't acceptable to this person.
Yeah.
You kind of have to meet. What we found is, I mean, at the end of the day, expectations are premeditated resentments, right?
Yep.
So any situation we walk into now, because we have seen it all, it's like we.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. No. We've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So like, it's now to the point where like we don't expect anything when we're walking into a deal. I mean, we've walked into the middle of a barn in the middle of nowhere and seen the nicest facility on the inside, and we've walked into the nicest building and it's disgusting on the inside.
Terrible.
You know, so like we've kind of seen it all. I think that at the end of the day, it's QC is big. Like having
Quality
the
control.
right people in the right positions is massive. And again, it's hard in this industry because people think there's so much and people get entitled and people think this and that, and it's just like people always think they know better instead of just following directions.
Of course.
It's always something, man.
Yeah.
It's always something.
Always. But speaking of that, you know, teams obviously are super important when it comes to shit like this. How did you guys like choose to like market and build your team?
So
organic relationships. I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
So like we've known each other how long at this
2014. When I met you.
Okay. Yeah.
So 11 years we've known each other.
Fucking A.
We've been working together since 2018. When the vape company split, and like my partners at the time went one direction and I stayed put, 2 employees stayed with me.
Okay.
And so I've had those 2 employees still work with me today.
That's loyalty.
So
10 years.
yeah, so they've been with me 10 years. So like when him and I were just like committed to each other.
I was like new guy.
Okay.
He was the new guy.
I was
Okay.
like the new guy to that group. Yeah.
How was that like chemistry in the beginning? Did you guys mesh well?
No, I mean, like, dude, they like, fuck. I'll give them this. Like, they taught me how to work. if that makes sense. Like, because they were just going, you know? And so, like, it would be like, yo, get out of here if you're getting in the way or fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, it was actually really good for me.
Great. That's awesome. I'm sure it helped you build as a character.
Yeah, but
so like one of those guys, he runs operations for the state of New Mexico. So like he comes to me and is like, hey, I got X, Y, and Z going on. What do you think I should do? And I'm like, well, what do you think you should do? And he tells me, and I'm like, sounds good.
There you go. We'll do it. Gotta have people like that.
So like he's running that, and then the other one, he manages like all our back end analytics. So compliance, distru, metric, biotrack. He's like making sure everything's connecting to each other, doing all that.
Beautiful.
And then like it's like like you said, it's all been organic. Because then the next dude on our team, I've known him for 10 years too. And I've seen him at other companies, and I've always been telling him, like, yo, you've been getting fucked over, bro. Like, when you're done getting fucked, let me know.
Come on over.
So he was living in Oklahoma, and finally he moved home, and he was like, yo, I'm ready. So
ready to stop getting fucked.
Yeah, so we picked him up, and then, I mean, one guy we had who was on the manufacturing line for us, and we shut down manufacturing, and I was like, if you guys want to get on the phones, you can get on the phones. We picked him up.
Beautiful. People on the phones is underrated too.
You know,
super underrated.
Like when we did the hemp deal, we picked up a couple more people in that deal. We split, and then a couple employees decided to stay with us, and some went the other way. So like we absorbed that, and it's just been slowly but surely. I mean, we've hired some people, fired some people, had to let some people go. Yeah. Some people that, I mean, I've literally traveled the world with, and I had to look at them and be like, this isn't working anymore.
Yeah. You know? And it happens.
It's wild. Business teaches you so much that you just never thought you would learn about yourself.
And you'll never learn shit like that in school.
Hell no.
Nope.
I didn't go to school.
There you go.
Well, I did, but like I didn't finish.
Okay.
Oh, dude. No, like that's for me too.
Yeah.
No, like I got sent to boarding school, but this actually ended up like saving my ass though, for real. So, like, I got sent to boarding school, and then I came back, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with my life, blah, 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 blah. And then, I'm going to go join the fucking Navy, you know? And so I go to sign up for the Navy, and they're like, yo, you don't have a high school diploma. And I'm like, what?
Yo.
Yeah. And
wait, so you went to boarding school, and, they just didn't give you a degree?
They got shut down for, for all that, for shit.
Gotcha.
Know? And so, but everybody's certificate is in a shed in the middle of fucking Montana or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not valid. Yeah. Apparently.
Yep.
But thank God.
So what happened after the Navy? Because I never heard this story.
Fucking jail. I went to jail for a little bit, and then
jails, institutions, and death.
I went through some shit. That was weird because I remember because this is my mom lives up in Kernville, and so this is have you been to Kernville or know about? It's kind of like Adelanto.
Okay, middle of nowhere type deal.
Middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay,
and so I remember I'm living there because it's I know I'm going to jail, and so why do anything, you know what I mean? Yeah. So let's see. So I went and so I had to go time in San Luis Obispo. I got out there went and stayed in a Motel 6.
Shit.
There's just a lot of weird shit. So then and that went on for a little bit where surfed around San Luis Obispo, trying to figure it out. And then in 2014 is when I came down back to Orange County.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then that's when you guys linked up, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So in 2014 when you guys started, did you have this vision for the brand?
No, we didn't start. We just met each other.
Yeah, we just knew each other. Yeah. We were just boys. We just see each other a couple times a week. Maybe grab dinner here and there with a bunch of other guys that we know. It was super just casual. We were just boys, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
At the time, he actually hit me up and he was like, hey, one of my boys is like starting this company, and we're doing these carts.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you can move some of these? And I was like, nah, I'm not even getting involved with that. Here's my brother, though. He could probably help place some.
Yeah.
So I connected him with my brother. And
Okay.
So he was actually packing and shipping carts with my brother.
Dope.
Yeah. No, because I was like working at Ruby's back then. I
Okay.
remember. And so like in this like little Orange County bubble, like there was all these kids that like became successful off of like nicotine vape, like, you know?
Okay.
And so like when my friend like popped up with this like cart company, like I was just like looking for any way like out,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so I like just started running these carts around fucking town, like anybody that I knew started just putting them in their
Like
hand.
at that time frame, too, like nobody
No,
really
like-
had carts. Like
no, like-
vapable
Oh, yeah.
cannabis. Like
Absolutely.
it wasn't really a thing. Like it was there, but like it wasn't. I mean, it was just like kingpins,
Yeah.
like
Those
heavy
are
hitters,
huge in
brass
New York,
knuckles.
bro. Oh, that was another huge brand in New York as well.
You know, like
Yeah.
what was it, smart cards,
Smart carts. Yeah. Yep.
like stuff like that. Like, you know, like that's really all it was.
Those
And
are
so-
classic. And just like you guys, holy shit, did the fakes come fast?
Right,
you know,
right.
Like, yeah.
And so that, like, we, like, circling back, that's how we got started, right? So I had access to people in China that could get the hardware.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking crazy because like if you bring it like that far back,
Yeah.
like when I remember because I remember like when my friend put like 10 carts in my hand, like and I was like in a parking lot, and he
Yeah.
put like 10 carts in my hand,
Yeah.
and that literally changed my fucking life.
Yeah. That's
Like-
insane. And you want to hear the
like-
craziest part for me, though?
Like, well, I was like,
That's 10 felonies. In New York, you had 10 felonies sitting in your hand right there.
oh,
10
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. So if you get caught with a vape, because what they do is they arrest you on the spot and they take you in until they can test it and prove that it's just THC. Until then, they don't know what it is. It's a substance, a banned, controlled substance.
So this is all
So
medical.
And then they put some shit, too, where they're like, they don't even take the weight of the content. They, like, weigh
Oh, the
everything,
package.
the
Yeah.
packaging,
Yep.
the entire content.
some
They're
bullshit.
Like, yo, this entire package is
Street
10
value
grams.
of-
Yeah.
Street
It's like,
value of
what?
$50 million.
Some crazy
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So that's dope. So when did it develop into, like you said, you had the plugs to make the hardware. When was it like, you know what, this makes sense. Now we're just going to start the brand.
So it's like kind of sad, but it was honestly like,
2018.
bro, it was when you got robbed.
Yeah.
It's like when it all like that's when it turned for the both of us.
Okay.
I think that's like when we both
All in.
What
Like,
happened, if
take
you
it-
don't mind?
take
God.
like this is gonna sound like however it sounds, but like it was in that moment when that happened that like we got committed to each other,
Gotcha.
like as partners.
Yeah.
Like it was like the way that we rose and stood up for each other in that moment was like,
Showed who really has your back.
all right, bet I got
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And there was one other moment that happened where it was like after that, and then like our first big deal, and we were sitting at our table and we were chopping up money, and we put everything aside, and this was his cut, and this was my cut, and I was chopping it with somebody else, and he was like, I don't feel good with that. He's like, here, and he handed over some of his, and he's like, now I feel better. And so it was like,
fucking fair.
it was
Yeah.
like like that moment turned into, so it was like he got robbed, then it turned into that first big disbursement with each other, and it was like, all right, this is my man.
Yeah.
So,
This is
like,
my man.
Beautiful.
So like what? So my perspective of that situation, it was crazy. Like how it worked. Like it was right. Like we invested the money like to start the company, and like so that money was sent to China, and the units were coming in. And then during that time frame, I get robbed for everything I have. Like I literally had to borrow like $1,000 off my friend.
Jeez.
But then like all the inventory landed, and like I just fucking
That
we
was
just
Bro,
sold.
yeah.
You know
This
what
dude
I mean?
calls me, and he's like,
Motivating.
I'm gonna let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Like
He's-
let's go.
at the time, can we talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I guess.
Talk about it, man.
All
Yeah.
right, yo, so his ex was kicking him out of the house.
Fuck.
He had all his shit on the front lawn. He was trying to go back to his house to get his shit. He goes and grabs his shit. I'm like, all right.
Oh,
And then he fucking all of a sudden he calls me again like an hour later. He's like, I'm being late. He calls me a little bit later. He's like, bro, I just got robbed. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it was such
Like he had everything he owned like in his car, and then anything that he had owned that was in his apartment was gone.
Damn.
And it was just like,
it was just like, yeah, but like it's so funny now that you put it that way, because like, yo, it's happened again, and like honestly, like the longer the safes just get bigger. You know, like the first safe thing.
That's real.
You know, like,
that's real.
Yeah,
happened a couple months ago.
Yeah. So like, you make it through it. You know.
Yeah.
Like it's hard though. It definitely puts you in a fucked situation. Like.
But like it was like, through that we were just like, don't trip, dog.
Yeah.
The hardware's landing. We'll cover it. We'll make sure everything gets filled. We'll make sure everything's good. Just sell the product. Sell the product. Sell the product.
The stupid faith. Like,
and so that's how you know, like, you guys really do love it too, because you could have just gave up at any point. Fuck this shit, you know, I'm out. Like, let me go get a real regular.
No,
you can't.
fuck no.
Can't do it.
No.
Yeah. Because then it was all for nothing.
That's like what we were talking about on the way here. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's more. For some reason, it's more than that, but like, doesn't.
It just changes, you know. Like at first, the goal is to get licensed, and then you get licensed, and you're like, okay, well then what? And then you're like, okay, another state, and then you get another state, and you're like, okay, well then another state, well then I want this state, but then like at some point, like if anybody's been in this industry, you know how hard it is to make money here, right?
Tough.
So like at some point, you take all these losses and you do all these things, and you're just like, what is the point of this? Like, how many relationships have I lost? How much shit, like, tireless nights have I been? Like, fucking red-eye flights to New York, or just all this shit, right? And it's like, for what?
Yeah.
You know, for money that I don't have because the government takes it all from me?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, not to, like, fucking be all Debbie Downer.
No, it's just commitment.
Yeah.
I guess
but
it's
at the
just
end
like,
of the day, it's like, yo, I believe.
Yeah, I believe too. It's
Like,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's because like when you think of like what truly needs to come with like the cannabis reform, and like, oh shit, like I have the privilege to even be a part of that.
I was gonna say, like this
what?
is only gonna happen one time.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
and so it's cool.
It is cool.
Oh yeah, it's like when you think about it like
I can't
that.
even wrap your mind. I can't even wrap my mind around.
It's
it.
history.
Like,
You're part of history.
Yeah, pioneers, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, please God, and it's like it's seriously for like the better good.
Yeah.
It truly fucking, like, I don't know, you can't convince me otherwise.
Like those guys, like Cookies, like Burner at Cookies, like the guys at Rock Garden, like those true legacy brands, like Wonder Bread, like those guys that have just been doing it and doing it and doing it, like straight bootleggers, you know? That now,
like, don't speak.
Yeah.
you know?
When did cannabis podcasts become a thing? Like you say, even with Cali Plug, everybody was like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
What?
You're like fed.
And then now we're here.
Yeah.
But it's different. You know
is
what
different.
I mean? But like, it's like
This is the way of the world
it's
too.
the
So you either
different-
hop on or get ran over.
like,
You know.
Well, at some point, like, you just got to talk about it. Like, you just got to tell people what it is, you know? Like, we're doing this. Like, we're paying our taxes. We're getting the licensure. We're bending over for the government right now in the hopes of something greater coming in.
It's crazy.
Federal legalization. Like, somehow, some way. Like, this is going to work.
It
you know?
is.
Call me fucking crazy for believing in it, but, like...
Oh, yeah, please. Well, no, it goes even deeper, too, because then if you go to, like, the generations and the generation before us up in Humboldt, like, it gets so weird. Like, not weird, but, like, when you're like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know anything. Because, like, I remember, I think it was Emerald Cup. I was out there, and, like, I was, like, just getting in there smoking rosin and stuff, and this lady took me
Another
to, like,
fucking world.
yeah, it took me to this, like, heady video premiere with this, like, 80-year-old lady from Humboldt County, you know, like, just, you know.
Legend.
And, like we pull up to the movie theater, and, like, the lady starts crying just because it says, like, hash on the thing. And she was like, bro, they burnt my house down. That's crazy. And you're like,
Yeah. What the fuck, man?
yeah, you hear it, you're like, like they had helicopters landing and pointed AKs at my fucking kids.
So crazy.
And so like,
Come a long way.
Weird fear, because like, yo, like, that shit that happens.
It's real.
Yeah, it's
real shit. Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I just try to, like, for me, I try to just talk about it, you know, like, as much as possible to try to normalize it for not only for me, but, like, for everybody around me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to stop Ghost anytime soon. Like, there's no plans on that, right?
Beautiful.
Like, so the fact of me selling cannabis is not going to change.
Yeah.
Therefore, like, it's what I do. It's not who I am, but it's, like, what I believe in.
Yeah.
So bet your ass I'm going to
It's
keep
how do you
pushing it.
operate in their rules? Because there's you can operate, but the rules are just fucking hard. So like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Gotta find a workaround.
Fuck, bro. Like we've been seasoned in with just so many different aspects of life that like you would never experience if it wasn't for this plant.
Yeah.
You know, like
But even like the workarounds, right? It's all, at the end of the day, it's like anything else in life. Unfortunately, at this level, it's like not what you know, it's who you know and who you're willing to pay, right? Like, because we went to the hemp side of the business, right? And trying to do everything by the book, playing their fucking game with the federal hemp bill, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we still had a facility in Florida where we do all our manufacturing and fulfillment for the hemp side. Close to $250,000 worth of products seized, red tagged, couldn't sell because overnight they decided that they didn't want this particular blurb on packaging. Wow. So they seized all the product in our warehouse. Like,
that's insane.
I mean, same thing, like
the
AKs, feds,
hometown
like
heroes. Like, okay, so there's like a group of Texan veterans that are all out in Texas. I think it's hometown heroes.
Okay.
And so they're like a group of veterans, and they're big distribution for like hemp products and vape products and stuff. And so they were sitting on, I think, like, and they're pretty big. They were sitting on like $500,000, $1 million worth of product.
Wow.
That overnight became illegal.
Holy shit.
And they were like, yo, I fucking fought for this country. Yeah. How am I a criminal? But I wasn't yesterday. Yeah. But now I just lose $1 million.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
That is wild.
That shit's wild.
It is wild.
It's like,
yeah.
What, and then, so like, then like people watching this are like, so why do you do it?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
because we're gonna get it.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day,
we're gonna win. Hopefully not.
The win is gonna be so big that it's just gonna be worth it.
Because I don't want to go against them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the fact that we were talking about this on the way up here. It's like, there was one point where like our relationship got strained for a little bit.
Yeah.
And like we were screaming, yelling at each other, weren't really talking. We're straight now, have been for a couple months, right? But like during that time frame, we were thinking like, how the fuck does he showing up with a smile on my face every single day? Yeah. And it's like, because I believe in this shit so fucking much, because I love it so much that it's like, bro, the fact that I get to come and do what I love every single day and like work with people that I've known for 10 plus years, like who gets to say that?
Not many.
Exactly. Like,
many.
Bro, I'm chilling. Money will come.
It will.
Like, you keep putting your foot forward, you keep doing the next right thing, like the rewards are going to come.
100%.
Like if you've been where we've been and fucking, it's been some deep, dark places, it's like, I mean, my God didn't bring me this far just to drop me on my ass here. He could have done that a long ass time ago.
And trust that everything does happen for a reason. As crazy as it may seem in the moment or how fucked up it is, like everything does happen
like
for a reason.
shapes you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy.
You're either going to learn it then or you're going to learn it somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I was like saying that, like, you know what I mean? I was like, what if like we end up just like, you know, you lose all this money like in the beginning, but it's just like kind of the universe or whatever you want to call it. Like, yo, I have so much in store for you to manage.
Sometimes it's just a test, bro.
Like this, like if, you know, like you got to fuck this up so you don't fuck that up.
Exactly. It's a bigger plan.
Yeah.
Bigger
and
plan.
So the zoom
It's just a journey.
And we have no control over it. As much as we want to believe, yo, this is our destiny, this has nothing to do with us. We're just following what we believe, you know?
It's cool. Sorry, I'm going to touch on that one.
Yeah.
Cause, like, what I was saying was, like it was like, yeah, it was a few months ago when I had that, like, I just had like a perspective shift where I had like, where like, here, I'll explain it, like, where, cause like, yo, bro, it is fucking tiring and brutal, and like, you know, like it's no joke when you're like going through hard times or whatever, you know what I mean? And shit, sorry, I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, and then so I'd come in and like I would see him with a smile on his face, and so I'd be like, yo, how fuck does this guy have a smile on his face right now? Like, where's all the money, bro?
Yeah.
You know? And then I had to go and be like,
it's not about that.
put myself in his shoes, all the shit like he's truly doing, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, bro, how the fuck do you have a smile on your face right now?
Yeah.
And you're like, so like perspective, which is, you know, kind of how you can literally, if you can change your perspective, you can change your trajectory.
100%.
You know?
100%.
I think it's all about the people that you surround yourself with, right? Like, our team is so solid. Like, we have such a good group of people around us where it's like, even on the days where you're just like, God, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's like somebody on our team will pick you up.
Yeah.
You know, and help motivate you in the right direction. So
Beautiful.
Like, at the end of the day, we're with family. Like, our bills are paid. We have roofs over our heads. We all are like-minded. We're all moving in the same direction. And it's like, yo, I don't think I could ask for anything more.
Yeah, like we have purpose.
Yeah.
Like we have discipline. Like we
Kind of,
but it's good. Like we have passion in our lives. You know what I mean? Like we got to create all different clothing stuff. We got to come up with different advertising and video ideas.
Yeah.
Or like booth designs, or like, hey, like, yo, there's a big concert going on. We're having blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to come sponsor it?
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, like.
the opportunities.
Speaking of events, like,
Kush Talk, yeah.
I was going to say, speak about some events that you guys have done and, like, how those keep you motivated.
Kush Talk low-key helped us the first year.
Shout out to Kush Talk.
You know? So, like, the first year we were just there, like, handing out shirts and stuff. And I remember there was a moment, like, where so we got all these branded water bottles. And, like, we were right next to the stage. And I remember, like, we double ordered them. So we had, like, two fucking giant, like, pallets of it. And we're like, bro, we have way too much fucking water. And then all of a sudden, yo, backstage doesn't have any water. Right, bro, we got pallets. And it's all
right place, right time.
It's all ghost branded, you know? So all the artists backstage were drinking ghost water. And we were just like, oh shit, yeah, like,
yep,
yeah, beach balls going out in the crowd, like when they were performing and stuff. Like, that was like, oh shit, this could be something.
Well, it's just community helping community.
Yeah,
I remember when we went to our first trade show, the hemp trade show, and we had a booth. I cried.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, because you just like
flashbacks.
Yeah,
big
you
moment.
just start like in this little busted office, like with this busted ass little product, and you're like, I hope this is something, you know. And then we're in Florida with trade shows. I've been to Spain. We've done trade shows in New York,
Mexico.
See, so look at all the places it brings you.
California, up and down the coast, and it's like, you're right. Like,
oh
that's invigorating when people come up and like you get the Instagram and you see your product.
Yeah.
No, so like that, I remember it's like I had to learn that sales technique too. Like when I first, when like more states started to like legalize, you know, and like learn that sales technique, because like cannabis is so small rooted. It's like, yo, who the fuck is this Cali boy coming out to Oklahoma? Like, nah. Yeah. Like, we got to keep Oklahoma weed in Oklahoma. You know? And I'm like, people, like, wouldn't want to take up the brand because of it's from California. And so it's like, how did you break that stigma, too? And I remember when I, like, it was Jordan. He's like, he handles all of our sales. He's like, we were, like, in a store in New Mexico, and he's like, I just let the plant take me where I need to go. You know, and he's like, I followed the plant, and they like broke that bridge of like, I'm from Oklahoma, you're from California, to like, yeah, we're about the plant.
Yeah.
And like in that, like, you know, that helped a lot.
Beautiful. So obviously events are a great way to do stuff like that. Did you guys have any partnerships that helped you along the way as well?
Many.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so many different partnerships. I mean, like I said, like the hemp partnership, like it ended bad, but it also gave us like our
It gave
start.
our brand out.
Structure.
You know, it gave us like that first opportunity. That was at that business juncture was when we started to professionalize ourselves. You know, I mean, we didn't even send emails to each other. You know, like little shit like that.
Yeah.
Getting a website, getting like actual Instagram, trademarking, like the hemp transition and that partnership kind of like took hold of all that. And if it wasn't for that first partnership, I don't know if all that would have developed as fast as it did, you know? Because once that happened, we saw how valuable the mark that we had built was. So that was huge. And then even after that deal, the way that we got, like you said, we started in New Mexico, and the way that happened was through another deal partnership we were in. An employee that they had was in New Mexico trying to find a license deal for them. Well, they wound up closing their cannabis division. The employee was still out in New Mexico, and he was like, well, what do I do? So we hit him up and was like, well, can you get us a license? He was like, I'll connect you to the guys. Got us a meeting set up within the next week. We had a deal and license signed within 2 weeks of that.
Wow.
And so, like, that came into fruition through another partnership, you know? And so it's just like, you can find the good and bad in any situation, you know? Like, every single one of those partnerships I mentioned ended terribly, unfortunately. But the value in those partnerships was the trademark, the mark, the professionalism, the first license.
You learned a lot.
It's like, where, you know, it's all in like the infrastructure. You know what I mean? And so it's cool to look back and you're like, oh, it's a gnarly infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then now it's like, especially because our product is vape, everything comes from China. Like it just does, you know? And
the hardware, the packaging.
one thing that we've learned is like supply
supply
chain management. Like, I would have never known anything about that, but we've learned supply chain management very well. And because of that, like, you put in product supply agreements, you know? So those become agreements and partnerships with our raw material providers. And so it's like those type of deals. We actually just signed one. I haven't even told him yet, but we just signed one with our hardware supplier now. Like, so our company, they're called BB Tank.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people know them. They're pretty big in the community, but like they're our exclusive hardware supplier now.
Beautiful.
You know, so like their logo will be on our hardware. Their logo is on our packaging. Like, they want to do like a little press release and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And so it's just like little partnerships like that help to secure your business as a whole. And those are things that we never really thought about, but it's like, if we want to focus on, like, his core focus is sales, right? So if he wants to focus on sales, then he needs to have a solid brand to do it. I love branding and brand development. So like, if I'm going to focus on that, we need to have solid product.
100%.
I need to be able to stand on it.
100%.
So, I mean, the thing that I always tell everybody in the office is, like, my job is to make sure that any meeting you walk into cannabis related, they have either heard or seen ghosts before you even walk into that meeting. That is my job.
Beautiful.
If you walk into a meeting and they haven't heard or seen us,
you're not doing your job.
I'm not doing my job.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest too with vapes. Like, when I first saw them coming around, like, I feel like it's one of those things that really made it accessible for all people. You know, it's not so intimidating as smoking a joint. You don't get as high if you don't want to. You take just 1 or 2 hits, you know? So now everybody's fucking vaping like crazy. So like, obviously it's grown so much already. Where do you see it going in like 5 years, 10 years down the line?
Shit. Okay, so it's gone from like that like box vape where you would get the flower, pack it in, and then they went to like that pen flower like vape. And then do you remember the vapes with the cords? That like, it was like a wick inside.
Oh yeah, no, like the
Yeah.
fucking juice vapes. Yeah.
No, they had it for weed too. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, they had the one with the cord, and then it went to like C cells, like the twist ons and stuff. And
Yeah.
And then then disposables, but like pods. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I would say,
Yeah.
Stizzy does pods. Like, I don't fucking do.
And if you want to be comfortable and pull it back, you can pull the mic back to you. You're good.
I don't know. Stoners are crazy, and so like I never underestimate like what they're gonna innovate.
Yeah.
You know, like have you seen like the CDs and the DVD stuff going around right now too? Like, yo, that's fucking crazy, but it's genius.
Yes.
Yeah, and the weed's good too.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So like, we worked hard at developing the hardware. That's one thing that we have. So we own our mold on our hardware. Like
Okay.
that shape, the inner workings, the button, everything about it, the heat, the voltage, what it's hitting at, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We did the same thing for our pod system. I think for vaping
Rosin.
and like the dispos, like that type of stuff, I think it'll follow the trend of whatever the market is doing as far as concentrates, right? Right now, I bet like the best you can get is rosin, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants rosin,
100%.
like solventless, water hash, like just it's the cleanest way to do it,
Yeah.
right? So then you're looking at from there, what's the cleanest way to consume that?
Yeah.
Some people like an e-nail is technically the cleanest way to do it.
I'd
right?
say. Yeah.
It's going to give you the less oxidation and all the chemical burn off, all the bullshit, right? So vaping, in my opinion, is like, okay, it's trying to take that cleanest way portable with you everywhere you can go.
Yep.
So it's just going to be little things like that. We actually have heavy metal testing for our hardware.
Okay.
So it's like not pushing off anything.
Beautiful. I'm
It's
sure
like-
that gives people peace of mind as well.
Right.
You know?
And so it's like little things like that that we'll try to do to keep innovating our hardware to like kind of set the standard and what we're doing internally. I think the next big thing is going to be like the wickless ceramic. The problem is that it's hard to get that type of system right now. Anything at volume, anything more than a half gram, because it's not actually wicking through, it's actually burning off a base. It over time, the base is porous, so you're heating, cooling, heating, cooling, heating, cooling.
You start
Well,
leaking.
instead of heating and cooling coming through the aperture holes to actually get the vape, you're actually heating and cooling the entire fucking
System.
the entire liquid or whatever's in it.
Yeah.
And so halfway through it, you're like, this tastes like shit.
Burnt oil,
because you
yeah.
flashed it so many times.
Yeah.
So
that makes
like,
sense.
there's little innovations. I think
settings you can do on the vape.
Yeah.
Like click it twice, different temp on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like what I was thinking.
Actually, to be honest with you, like I know we're here talking about us, but like 710, like this device that they just did, like I just pull it out of my pocket because I have it. But they have this little switch on it, so like they just turn it off. But so right now it's preheating.
Okay.
So, like, it clears the clog. So, it's, like, heating up the device so, like, it doesn't clog or anything. And this is their rosin device.
Okay.
And it's a full gram. And I haven't had any issues with it. It's actually functioning pretty well.
Beautiful.
Right?
And you know, it's
like,
funny that you say that because a lot of people do, like, with just the regular vapes, like, oh, it's not hitting. It's like, you got to clear the system. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So, like, little things like that, innovation, right, to the hardware, I think will happen over time. But a lot of it's going to come down to what people are looking for.
Yeah.
It's all going to become down
the
to
consumers will speak. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the hardware will shape around that, right? Like I've seen hardware now where it's not like a liquid like in a dispo, but it's the actual rosin. And it goes in a little compartment and you close it. It's a one-time hit and it heats up a little bowl.
That's cool,
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like they had the fucking G-Pens back in the day, bro.
Yeah.
I have one of them.
Fuck it. Those are some of my
Bro,
favorites.
it's
I'm not
similar
gonna
to
lie.
that kind of stuff, right? But it's just a one-time hit. Like once it's done and the bowl's cleared, like you just toss it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
So little things like that. And I think we'll just we haven't changed our hardware in a little bit just because like I'm all about believing in the system and where it's at.
Yeah.
And like I said, like that whole postless, like the not having a base, like I don't believe in consumption of it fully yet. I'm not convinced on it, so we haven't released a product. We're working on something right now for our pod system, but until it's 100%, like, we're just not going to release it, you know?
Hey, it's better to develop it until it's ready and not.
Yeah. We got some prototypes coming. Like, I'm actually flying to New Mexico next week to, like, go test the product.
Beautiful.
So we'll see what happens.
Great. And are you guys in stores out here? Or, like, where are you guys in stores? What stores?
Evergreen.
Okay.
California, we've really focused on LA South. We're from
LBC Collective.
Irvine, Orange County area.
Yep.
So, like, a lot of the shops in Santa Ana we're in. A couple shops up here in LA, but mainly just Orange County, a couple in Riverside, delivery services, stuff like that.
Beautiful.
I think. Huh?
No, I mean, we're in, like, quite a few. I think we're, like,
Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, like, we're, like, 50, right? 50 or 60.
Okay.
Out in California.
Tells you how much sales we do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, shit. That's what I was just saying, so the people know where they can go get your product and shit, you know?
Yeah. Like, I would say Weed Maps is probably the best tool to find, you know, specific products, like, in California.
Okay, great.
Sure.
So go check out Weed Maps for trying to find some of these ghost vapes, for sure. Anything else you guys want to touch on, highlight, potential?
Not really. Like, we're just moving forward. So, like, I would say, like, that whole last year, 2024, was just, like, build. Like, literally, like you said, we threw up two to three states in 2 years, like, off the hair off our backs. And now it's like, okay, we're here. How do we stabilize it and then go to the next, you know?
Yeah, this year's all about stabilization for us. Like, really just, I think we feel like with the team that we have a solid understanding of where we want to go and what we want to do. And so in order to get there, we have to stabilize what we have now.
Okay.
And so it's really just, we had our quarterly meeting and we sat down with our team and we're just like, all right, these are our sales goals for quarter one. We want to we're not even going to look at anything past Q1. These are the numbers we want to hit. If these numbers we want to hit, we have to have X amount of inventory. Like, just super simple, back to basics kind of stuff. Just to really get the business dialed, healthy, and then in a position to make the next step.
There you go.
To be able to operate independent as an MSO with zero debt, I think is a win all in and of itself.
Absolutely.
The fact that personally we might not have as much money as we want is another story. But, like, at the end of the day, like, being able to say that and for the dream of wanting to one day sell ghosts on, you know, federally legal, federally licensed cannabis company.
Yeah.
We are definitely not going to give up anytime soon. That's the dream, you know?
For real.
You're building a legacy right now. You know,
Trying.
you took something that was in your head and you made it into a reality. So I think that's really fucking dope.
Appreciate that.
Of course. Hell yeah. So I know, like you said, in the other states, you have, like, full operations where you have flower, pre-rolls, all that. Do you guys grow your own stuff, or do you work with, like, cultivations?
So we don't, but I have had the pleasure of working with Brett from Wonder Brett.
Okay.
And because my background's in vape and his was in growing, I did, like, a solid project with him where he basically took me to school. He showed me, like, the breakdown of flavors and, like, the trichomes and the different terpene profiles and, like, how everything meshes together, why things taste the way they taste, the genetics of it, like, really showed me everything. And from there, like, we worked with, like, we used our terpene supplier, Abstracts is who we work with exclusively for our cannabis products. And they sent us a sample of every single terpene profile they have.
Okay.
And so I sat there with Brett and we fucking vaped through every single profile and, like, was just like, okay, well, we like this taste, and we want a little bit of this and a percentage of that. And so he was able to kind of teach me how flavors complement each other in cannabis and what to do and how to mask and how to add this and what, like, true gas tastes like.
Yeah.
And so that was something that was fucking crazy for me.
Sounds like a good time, honestly.
I mean, it was dope, you know?
That's when we put the Northern Lights thing together, and I was like, oh, shit, bro. Like, your weed was the weed that, like, changed my life, and now we're doing this.
Wow.
Like, what?
Everything comes full circle, too.
Yeah,
you know?
It was a cool experience, and it was like we actually just released the 3 of the flavors that we were working on in New Mexico in the end of December, and they sold out within the first week. And so I hit up Brett, and I was like, bro, the state loves the flavors, bro. Like, we were on the right track, you know? So that man makes amazing products. Like, he definitely knows what he's doing. And so to, like, be shown, like, that baseline was just, like, I mean, I don't think you could ask for a better teacher.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Where can the people find you on social media?
I am ghost.official.
Okay, cool. And that's on Instagram?
That's on Instagram.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. You guys got any events coming up? Anything like that? Near future you want to announce that the people know about?
Yeah, right here. Yeah, right here in SoCal, we're going to be doing Blunts and Birdies down in Orange County.
Okay.
So we partnered up with those guys. They do the network show, if you've heard about that. So they spin this up once a year, golf tournament. We're sponsoring that. There's like a big, I think, what's the $100,000 for the hole-in-one?
Yeah, the hole-in-one challenge. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So we got that coming up. We're looking at throwing our first event in New Mexico.
Okay.
We're going to be doing that sometime this year. Really focusing on giving back to that community. We did a turkey drive for the second time this last year, and it had a huge turnout.
Beautiful.
So we're looking at doing more so like community-driven events, and want to see what we can do for the turnout in the state of New Mexico.
Great.
And then looking at, there's a spot in New York called, it's like the Museum of Weed.
Okay.
Cannabis Museum.
Okay.
And so it's like a big spot out there. So we're looking at doing an event for a lot of the local dispensaries, kind of like a meet and greet.
Awesome.
With us, with a couple of our distributors out there.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, if that thing's still around in, like, 20, 30 years, you're going to be like, that's Grandpa's picture in the weed museum. Like,
that's funny.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I wish. That'd be awesome.
When is that going to be in New York?
I think we're trying to do it. It was either 4/20 or 7/10. It was like somewhere around one of those two holidays when they were planning.
Beautiful.
But we have some stuff where we're working with some like local artists as well, and trying to get somebody come out and perform. And so like there's a lot of stuff we're trying to work on this year. We found that a lot of content-driven events that we can do internally, like we have a lot more success with. So definitely excited about what
it's the way of the world, man. You got to get on board with the content stuff, you know, or someone else will. Yep. Well, we do appreciate you guys coming out. I mean, hell of a story, you know. You guys are definitely killing the game with everything you guys are doing. So we appreciate you, and that's what we're here for. We're trying to really just shed a light on the legends of the game and the people that are the real players. So we think that you guys fall into that category for sure.
No, we appreciate it. Thanks for the time, you know. Thanks for having us.
Of course.
This was chill.
Dope.
Yeah, it was fun. It's
Dope.
cool.
Absolutely. Anytime. You guys are welcome anytime. Well, that does it for this episode on the Green Rush Nation podcast. Go like, share, subscribe, tell your mother, your brother, your sister, everybody. But check them out. They're Ghost. They got vapes. Like they said, they're in a couple states now. So we'll see you next time.
I am ghost.official on Instagram. Check it out.
Go give them a follow.
Anybody you guys like to shout out?
Well, shout out to BB Tank first and foremost, you know, especially after getting that contract worked out.
Beautiful.
Shout out Abstracts for holding it down on our terpenes. Brett at Wonder Brett for laying the foundation. Definitely our partner manufacturer out in New Mexico. Partner distro here in California, Bud Tech. Our partners in Florida, Honest, manufacturing, distribution. I mean, like I said, like circling back to partnerships, man, if it wasn't for all those people, Ghost wouldn't be what it is today. Yeah. Those guys make the world go round for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And strategic partnerships in any business can take you far. So,
yeah,
good.
100%.
Congrats on that.
Appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you. All right, it's a wrap.
I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on a 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5, shit, get up and leave.